I'm Anne de Plessis. I'm the project manager for Conservation at Work. It used to be called the Western Cape Conservation Stewardship Association, but they went through a rebranding process, and this is now the new logo and the new name. Okay, so I'll just quickly run through the successes of Conservation at Work. We've been going through an organizational strengthening phase for about a year and a half now. At the moment, there's 70 active conservancies in the Western Cape. That covers, includes about 1,600 landowners. We applied for further funding from the Table Mountain Fund, which was approved. So there's a project manager for another 2 years with the association, a full-time project manager. The partners in the field in the Western Cape are quite excited about Conservation at Work because we're kind of formalising the voluntary conservation and just giving them a voice and a platform. We've got some MOUs signed with Cape Nature just to show how we will work together in the future. We have quite a strong partnership with Cape Nature. We're also in the process of signing a tripartite agreement with the Department of Agriculture and Department of Environmental Affairs. So that's quite nice that they're kind of recognizing us as a formalized body. We're also assisting the Department of Agriculture with conservation committees. They want to get that back into CARA. I don't know much about it, but it used to be part of the CARA Act. We have conservation committees across the board, and they kind of hold landowners responsible for any legal practices that are not supposed to happen. And we now have an established committee in Conservation at Work with 13 members, and we have regular meetings. So it's busy getting its feedback on the ground. It was kind of, you probably all know that it wasn't really active for quite a while. So I think it's busy getting its act together again. And we have regular communication with the landowners. I send out newsletters, and we have a website. We update, we upload articles every now and then, and this is our website. So if you haven't checked it out, I also have some license stickers that I'll hand out afterwards where you can, with the website address on as well. And we have a Facebook page with about 140 followers. So we also update that regularly. And then a lot of people contact me to ask conservation-related queries. And because I work inside NCC Environmental Services, it's a nice platform or a nice bunch of people where I can ask, they assist me with anything I don't know. We are also busy taking on volunteers. So they're helping me with finding out some of the successes that have been, or that are happening in the conservancies. So there's some very nice projects in conservancies, so they're just going around interviewing the people and helping me write it down. We've created a promotional video of Conservation at Work and what we do in the Western Cape, and just to promote conservancies. And I think Conservation at Work is playing a vital link at the moment between landowner and conservation body, and just linking the conservancies with each other and sharing ideas, and I can see that it's kind of, it has a nice effect in the landscape. And by attending various meetings like this, and it's possible to avoid duplication, because you can kind of share what's happening within other fields. Okay. I also sit on a reference group where Parks, Sandy, a lot of different organizations attend. So it's like a voluntary conservation reference group. and it's extension officers that are in the field. They come together and they share what's happening. So it's nice to find that from them. We are also presenting at the Famous Forum in October in Cape Town. So just a success story, or it's a presentation about success stories in conservancies, and just sharing that the whole concept with people. I think there are many people out there who are not aware of what a conservancy is really about. And there's one conservancy in the Western Cape, the Frans Manshoek Conservancy, and they use students from Sarsveld to become rangers. So it's like for their work integrated learning year. So we are trying together with NCC to look at how we can give these students an opportunity to actually manage a conservancy for a year and then get all the experience they needed for their work integrated learning. So I think that's a nice way also, or a nice thing to look at. And yeah, we're trying to encourage universities to use our conservancies and our landowners' properties for research. So they often go through conservation at work to access the sites for them to use for their studies. And we're looking at ways to assist conservancies to become more sustainable by raising funds, just trying to help them. We've also secured 80,000 Rand for training for the Western Cape Conservancies. So I've drawn up a program, and it's the proposal is in at TMF, so they have to approve it. And then we will do fire training, chainsaw, herbicide application, and just general conservation training. So it will be like a day where all conservancies are invited in the area and they can learn about snake awareness and plant identification, bird identification. So that's quite exciting. That will kick off now in the next 2 months. We've also started a conservancy trail run project where we do trail runs in the conservancy. So we organize the event, then the conservancy gets a part of the entry fees, and Conservation at Work gets a part of it, and the rest goes to the event organizer who helps us. So yeah, we're also looking at now in the next year to map all the areas. A lot of them are mapped, but not a lot of it speaks to each other. So we try to get it all standardized. Okay, I don't know if we have enough time, but I have just a few conservancies that have kind of unique projects that I wanted to quickly go through. So the Greater Salmonsburg Conservancy, they have a full-time manager, and I also worked there for 3 years, and we did environmental camps for kids with land care, and it also helped us to become sustainable because we could use the management fee for to go back into the kitty, and then that pays the manager. And now they've actually started up an environmental education centre. So it's an established centre where kids and adults can come and learn about different things, and they host farmer days and things like that. So it's quite a nice model, and it's self-sustainable. So they through membership fees and doing projects like these, they actually are able to keep the manager on board. Then there's the Frans Manshoek Conservancy that I just mentioned. They take on the rangers, and they do a lot of good work. They also do fisheries compliance, and they check permits, and they actually really avoid poaching in their marine areas. So that's quite nice. And the Breda Conservancy, they have a skills training centre. So that's an area where we can do the training for the staff, and they do a lot of projects with their farm workers to educate them about the environment and to make sure that they're also on board and know why they are conserving as a crop. And then the Skalpenberg Solaris Conservancy, one of their sustainability models is to do like these wine walks. So they walk between different from one farm to the next, and they go with a guide who shows them about all the plants, and it's a nice way for people to come into the conservancy and for them to generate some funds. And it's also there where we are launching the trail run in October.
Does it get a bit more windy at the end?
Eh?
Does the trail get a bit more windy at the end?
Probably yes. Yeah, they start with the straight roads. Okay, then there's the Botleray Hills Conservancy. They do mountain bike routes, and that is a really, they're getting quite a lot of money from that. They have like a year permit that people can buy, and then they have access to the mountains. And they've actually used all the frogs in the conservancy to link the trail. So it's a very nice model, and they're actually now looking at employing somebody because they have enough money to actually do that. And then there's the Klein Swiper Conservancy. They also have full-time alien clearing teams, and then they apply for land care, which is the Department of Agriculture. I don't know, do you also have land care here? Or is it the Western Cape?
I think it's a national.
Okay.
It's just applied more in other places.
Yeah, it's definitely a good source of alien clearing funds. That's where we've got most of ours from. So they continuously clear their area with their teams. Okay, so these are our two funders at the moment: Table Mountain Fund and also NCC Environmental Services. They have also donated quite a bit of money to this project. And yeah, that's it.
Can we, thank you very much. Can we get 2 quick questions? If anybody has. Ivan, have we got these presentations?
Everything will be on that. I will be putting it on the net as well.
Okay, because that was actually very, yeah, that was quite amazing, and I think that where you seem to have captured things is that you've almost created a business around some of those conservancies.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of conservancies that have got, you know, things like rangers and that kind of stuff, but you know, to actually have a manager involved there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our Midlands, they're probably one of the few that have actually got that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we would certainly like to hear more of what you're getting right. Because remember that we are the Conservancies and Stewardship Association. And I think that there's a lot of lessons that I think you guys want to, you can certainly benefit from.